Hi, you guys. So I'm going to try to go through this branches of power as fast as I can. So there's going to be a lot less talking in this one. If you guys have any questions, please let me know.
A chance to control one branch of government.
So each turn gives you a chance to control one branch of government.
Take actions to move your bills through the entire legislative process. As you develop your bills into laws, the public's support for them will grow. When a law passes judicial review, the public's support for that law turns into approval of your government. Guide as many laws through judicial review as you can before the game ends. Who will lead your government? What does your president care about? Select an agenda and 2 values.
I just chose 2 random ones.
The executive branch sets the legislative agenda and communicates with the public. Go here to come up with new ideas and to sign bills into law. Which idea for a new bill would you like to propose? Schools play an important role in students' lives and the lives of their families. Which idea or bill would you like to hold a press conference about?
How should I introduce this topic? We must help schools better serve students and their families.
Can schools provide services beyond classroom instruction?
Yes, that's right.
Do many families rely on school services to help their children?
Yes, of course. Goodbye, folks. Thanks for the great questions.
The legislative branch crafts the laws that govern our nation. Go here to build ideas into the best bills they can be. Which idea would you like to introduce as Which bill would you like to hold a hearing on?
So we can see here we have our Senate and our House of Representatives. It looks like more people in the Senate are for individual freedom. We have quite a few people over here for cost saving. We have 1 person here for competition. In the House, we have quite a few people over here for competition. We have more in the generosity category than cost saving. And we're pretty divided when it comes to individual liberty and equality. So let's see. Let's go with Representative Sarah East. You guys can pause if you want to read any of this stuff or if I'm going too fast. So let's see what doing this will do. So it adds 20%. We get a few people over here. What if we click this one? Oh, then we get those people.
Which bill would you like to deliberate on?
So remember, we need executive support. as well as 50% in the Senate and the House. Right now, we do not. We need to include the president's values. So he values competition and equality. So let's add a few competition ones. Oh, so if we add both, then we get these people over here. What about generosity? There we go. So now it's going to pass in both. What if we were to add this equality instead of the individual freedom? Nope. All right. So now we have our clauses. Looks like the executive does support this bill. The Senate and the House both support it as well. And we have 600 public support points. So we'll end deliberation and we'll call for a
Which bill
vote.
would you like to bring to a vote?
And it passed. So we'll sign this bill into law.
Which bill would you like to review?
Remember, the president, our executive branch, is the one who's doing that. We'll approve. Ba-ding. And let's propose a new one. We start with 100 public support, so let's go ahead and do career readiness.
For students leaving school, it's important to have the skills needed to be career ready.
And we'll have it be orange. A legal case has been brought against one or more of your laws. So we'll go over to the Supreme Court. That's in the judicial branch.
The judicial branch hears legal cases and makes sure laws don't violate the Constitution. Go here when you have cases that need to be heard. Which case would you like to hear?
Today's hearing concerns recent legislation that has made its way to our court. I will now review the law's clauses and decide on their constitutionality.
So to keep schools safe, appoint students with the best grades as student officers. Have them search their peers' belongings for illegal substances. Is that constitutional, unconstitutional because of unlawful search and seizure? Or is it unconstitutional because we're not giving someone a lawyer? I'd say maybe search and seizure. They can't search for belongings, or they can't search belongings for illegal substances. So let's choose that one. Rank after-school programs by how much students like them, and charge students a small fee to attend the most popular programs. Does that have to do with declaring war or bearing arms, meaning weapons? Doesn't have to do with either of those, so it must be constitutional. And give prizes to students who do the most community service work outside of school. Does that have to do with slavery or being given a lawyer even if you can't afford one? No, so it must be constitutional.
The court will now deliberate on the case. We have thoroughly reviewed the law, and here is our decision. I think this clause should be stricken because it violates a part of the Constitution. The other justices agree. I think this clause is constitutional. The other justices agree. I think this clause is constitutional. The other justices agree. After discussing the case with my colleagues, here is our final decision.
So the law is partially constitutional. Some of the law's clauses were deemed unconstitutional. These will be removed. Now we have that upheld law. So we'll go to the legislative branch and we'll turn the idea into a bill.
Which idea would you like to introduce as a new bill?
The career readiness idea, little light bulb. Now let's deliberate on
Which
this.
bill would you like to deliberate on?
A lot of times you hold a hearing first, but let's see what clauses we can add right off of the bat. We could add this clause here, this clause here, and this clause here. Ooh, so it's pretty close, but the executive really doesn't like it. Maybe we'll do this. Either that, or we're going to have to add a competition. Let's do that. And we'll look for a competition in our hearing. So we'll end deliberation and we'll hold a
Bill would
hearing.
you like to hold a hearing on?
So we're looking for competition. Let's see. Let's choose Jessica Duncan. And we'll add that one there. And
Which bill
let's
would you
deliberate.
like to deliberate on?
Actually, let's hold
Which
another
bill
hearing.
would you like to hold a hearing on?
Let's hold another hearing. Let's see. Let's do Norma. Yeah, we'll do Norma. Don't want that one. Let's do this one. Okay. So that made them go up a little bit. We'll add that clause. Then
Which
let's
bill
deliberate
would you
some more.
like to deliberate?
Takes a lot of talking sometimes to be able to get this passed. So let's see. Let's see, maybe we'll add some individual freedom instead of equality. What happens if we do that? Then look, it passes in both the Senate and the House. We have executive support. We have a lot of competition here. And we have public support. So we'll end deliberation. And we'll turn this into a bill that's ready for the president to either sign or
Which
veto.
bill would you like to bring to a vote?
There we go, it's passed. And we'll go here to the executive branch, where we will sign this bill into law.
Which bill would you like to review?
Approve. And we'll propose an idea for a new bill. So civic engagement, that has the executive agenda, so let's go ahead and do that one.
Civic engagement is when people act to make a difference in the community.
A legal case has been brought against one or more of your laws. Oh no. All right. So let's go ahead and hear about that.
Which case would you like to hear?
Today's hearing concerns recent legislation. I will now review.
All right. Hold a national contest to find the business with the best work training program. That's constitutional, I would say. It doesn't have anything to do with taking away life, liberty, or property. It also doesn't have anything to do with getting together and protesting. So it must be constitutional. Challenge schools in each state to graduate the most career-ready students and give awards to the winning schools. Looks like that's also constitutional. You guys can take a look at these different cards if you'd like and choose which you think it is. Give tax cuts to business owners so they'll have more money to train new employees. Does that have to do with search and seizure or voting based on race? No.
The court will now deliberate on the case. We have thoroughly reviewed the law, and here is our decision. I think this clause is constitutional. The other justices agree. I think this clause is constitutional. The other justices agree. I think this clause is constitutional. The other justices agree.
All right.
After discussing the case with my colleagues, here is our final decision.
All right, so all three clauses are constitutional. Support for the law has increased. And there we are. So now let's see if we can make this pink idea into a law. First, we have to introduce the bill. We already have the idea.
Which idea would you like to introduce as a new bill?
Now we have to introduce this idea. We're going to write it up and create a bill. Then we're going to hold a hearing.
Which bill would you like to hold a hearing on?
Let's do this one for the competition or the individual liberty. All right, so if we add this one, that gains public support. It also gains executive approval. So let's add that clause. Now let's deliberate.
Which bill would you like to deliberate on?
So let's add an individual freedom. Let's add one of these, competition. Okay. And then cost saving. Oh, just so close. How can we get excuse me. How can we get people in the House to agree? Maybe if we add this other individual liberty. And look at that, it worked. Awesome. So now we'll call for a
Which bill
vote.
would you like to bring to a vote?
And it passed. So now we're going to sign this bill into law. The government, or rather the president, he was pretty neutral on this bill, so
Which bill would you like to review?
He won't have any problem with that. He'll be able to sign it in. And there we are. There's our new law. So we have one more we could do. Let's do the first one. All right. A legal case has been brought against one or more of your laws. All right. So let's go to the judicial branch, the Supreme Court. We'll hear
Which
it.
case would you like to hear?
Today's hearing concerns recent legislation that has made its way to our court. I will now review the laws.
All right. So make it easier to vote in elections by making official ballots available on phones and letting people vote that way. Does that have to do with voting based on gender or protecting the right to petition the government? No. So it must be constitutional. Require all residents to host a soldier in their home to help save the military money. Does that have to do with being punished in a cruel and unusual way? Forcing people to let soldiers stay in their home? Or is it unconstitutional? Yeah, they're requiring that everybody host a soldier in their house. So that's got to be unconstitutional. And finally, give residents a large menu of ways to get engaged in civic action. Let them choose what they'd like to try. Does that have to do with the president being the commander-in-chief of the military? Having a fair and speedy trial in court? Or is it constitutional? I'd say it's constitutional.
The court will now deliberate on the case. We have thoroughly reviewed the. I think this clause is. The other justices agree.
Woohoo!
I think this clause should be. The other justices agree. I think this clause. The other justices agree. After discussing the case with my colleagues, here is our final decision.
So the law is partially constitutional. Some of the law's clauses were deemed unconstitutional. These will be removed. All right, and this is our last turn. So let's deliberate and see if we can get this idea to become a bill. We're not going to be able to make it into law because we don't have any turns left. However, we can still start writing it
Which idea
up.
would you like to introduce as a new bill?
We can still try to get Congress to agree. Let's deliberate.
Which bill would you like to deliberate?
So let's see what we have. So we have those three. It looks pretty close to passing in both the Senate and the House. So let's hold a
Bill, Would
hearing.
you like to hold a hearing?
Looks like we could use some more people for generosity. Looks like we could also use an extra competition. Let's go with generosity. All right. So let's see if we add this, what happens. Oh no! What happens if we add this one? This one? Let's go with this one for now. We need to deliberate
Which
some
bill
more.
Would you like to deliberate?
So we'll take off our cost saving. That way we have our 3 here in the House. And then looks like we could use a cost saving. But then we'd have to get rid of our generosity. What if we were to do cooperation instead of competition? All right. All right, looks like we're gonna have to hold another hearing. Because we only have 1 action left and we're in our last turn, let's call for a vote. Let's see what happens.
Which bill would you like to bring to a vote?
Not passed. So it passed in the House, but it did not pass in the Senate. You need over 50%. So it did not pass. So now let's see here. We have 3 upheld laws, 1 bill, 2,550 government approval, and 2,675 impact points. There's our certificate.